Hi, you've clicked on to today's tropical tidbit for Friday. Over here in the Atlantic, still rather active scene in progress over here. This subtropical low fell apart. This one developed, and the Hurricane Center decided to name this Sherry over here, and this is going to pass by Bermuda on its way to the north. What it really is still a cold core upper low, and the surface low is still on one side of it, not fully warm core. You can make an argument that it's still sort of subtropical, but I don't really have any problems with this. It's got a well-defined circulation. This beat this to the name Sherry, and that's a little unfortunate since we've been advertising this to be Sherry, but it's okay. We can swap names. We can turn this into Tomas over here, and this really looks like Tomas. Look at this down here. This is extremely impressive. I mean, look at this outflow. That is just beautiful. That is just textbook. And this is October 29th, and look at this ridge coming into the Eastern Caribbean. This is an amazing little system over here. If we zoom in on this, you notice well-developed circulation over here. Hard to tell exactly what's at the surface. The Hurricane Center is up this to 80% chance of development, which we knew was going to happen, but you can see they're waiting to see if there's going to be a circulation. I can see bleeding northwest to west winds on this side of circulation in the low levels. I don't know if you guys can see. I see some. It's hard to tell because of all the high-level clouds, but I think there's some there. And notice the circular structure of this. The circular banding structure. This kind of structure is hard to maintain with solid convection. This has been 24 hours now of this structure being maintained. It's hard to do that, pretty darn hard to do that without a surface circulation coupled with the mid-level circulation. So I'm pretty sure this has got something going at the surface. Still a little broad, but I think this is easily a tropical depression, if not a tropical storm already. Certainly will be by the end of the day. This is probably going to move between St. Grenada and St. Vincent over here. Come northwest a little bit, may gain some latitude, and then turn a little farther west before stalling in here and then trying to fade northeast across the northern Caribbean islands in several days by later next week. And this is going to be a big problem for the northern Caribbean islands. Notice what it's doing now. See this upper low over here with Sherry? This is lifting out, and as this lifts out, this is just pumping the ridge right into here and ventilating this area. This is going to be something that could wind up very easily. Major hurricanes do occur in here, and this could be a problem for these folks in here. You can see the models coming around to my thinking. A long time ago last week, I was talking about Sherry trying to develop in here, which is now not going to be Sherry, but whatever, coming across into the Caribbean and then trying to curve up into, and I said the northern Caribbean islands had to watch over here, and you can see the models are going towards that idea in here, and you can see a lot of them pointing towards Hispaniola, and this is something that they're going to have to watch very closely for both wind and rain from a potential system like this. If we look at the European ensembles out to day 7, notice the trough coming to the eastern United States. Notice all the variants in here. Hard to see my cursor, I know, but you can see all the pinks and purples indicating models disagreeing with each other, showing how fragile this pattern is, as they're not exactly sure what they want to do with the tail of this trough over here. And so there's a little bit of disagreement. You can see where the model says the storm should be over here as this variance tries to show up south of Jamaica by day 7 over here, and this trough is going to try to lift out. It's possible, not likely in my opinion, but some of the models still try to trap this. The European operational lifts the trough out and traps this over here and then brings it back out later by day 10 where it's still sitting down here, but this model has it rather weak. The way it's looking right now, this is going to strengthen as it comes up, and if it strengthens as it comes up, then it's very likely to turn out and not get stuck over here. And again, is there any reason why this should happen and why this would work out and make sense given the pattern without just taking the model's word for it over here? Well, again, we're looking at another negative SOI burst coming across the Pacific. Notice we were peaking in the 30s over here a week ago, and notice how we've tanked into real negative numbers over here. This is a stronger burst than before. Not really that strong because this is not that negative, but relative to what La Nina will give you in numbers, this is a relatively negative burst over here over the last 4 days or so. What this is giving you is lower pressures in Tahiti, which is in the Central Pacific. So you see the upward motion burst in the Central Pacific. What this does is tightens the jet, the southern branch of the jet stream, a little bit over here, and tightens it here, sort of tries to force a ridge into the western United States, which gives you more of a trough over here. I know you can't see the country outlines over here, but this is the eastern seaboard, Florida, Gulf of Mexico. So you can see that this would make a little bit of sense It's not the strongest pattern in the world, but it is a signal that would give you more of a ridge and more of a trough here and at least favor that situation. This also ties in with the fact that we have a recurving typhoon east of Japan over here, and when you get weaknesses in the ridge over the Far East, it generally teleconnects to weaknesses in the ridge over eastern North America as well. We saw this work with Richard, and we will see if it works again over here, but this is just more evidence supporting this instead of just taking the model's word for it. And you can see what's going on here. You can see what the GFS is doing by day 7. Look at this southeast of Jamaica. This is a big deal. And you know, the situation is something I've been warning about for a long time, that even into November, these folks in here have to be watching. You do get major hurricanes in November in the Caribbean. This area is going to be favorable for this kind of stuff to occur for a little while yet, and we'll see whether this is the last one or not. I'm not sure yet whether this is our last storm of the season. This would be 19 over here, but this stuff does happen, and these folks in the Northern Caribbean need to be ready for this. You can see the 500 millibar pattern on the GFS ensembles day 7. See the trough hanging back over here. Here's your flow getting taken out. Where do you think the divergence is? Right in here. So this is where you're going to get your pressures to lower. So if you get a storm in here, you have the potential to really wind this up, and this is something that really these folks should be worried about, and I'm not going to back down on a warning about this. These things can occur, and we're going to have to watch for major impacts from this. So I would say just keep a close eye on it for folks who live in here. First impact is going to be down here in Trinidad, Tobago, St. Vincent, Grenada, Barbados, and up here towards St. Lucia, probably southern half of the Antilles over here over the next couple of days as this comes across, and these folks should just keep a close eye on this. And Sherry will be going out, affecting Bermuda a little bit, but not too bad, not really more than a squall, and we shall see what happens. Alright, that's it for today. Thanks for watching.